Everyone look right over there to the camera. Say hello to Skywalking Through Neverland.
Woo!
We are the Star Wars and Disney podcast. I'm Richard Woloski, your host. Hold for applause. And continue. All right. And this is my sweetie wife, Sarah, right over here. Everyone, please give it up for my sweetie wife, Sarah. And we have, as a very special guest on this panel of Skywalking Through Neverland salutes the 40th anniversary of the Star Wars Holiday Special. We are very happy to have Mr. Craig Miller, everybody. And Mr. W.R. Miller, no relations. To go back a couple of steps here, we are Skywalking Through Neverland, and if anyone wants to know everything there is to know about the Star Wars Holiday Special, we've talked to people like Steve Bender, the second director. They had one director named David Akamba. Is it Akamba or Akumba?
Akamba.
Akamba. And he was directing more for a filmic style, where you do one page every day. They needed to do 30 pages in a day.
Yeah.
So he left because of creative differences, and they brought in Steve Bender. We've talked to him. We've talked to Larry Hyder, who was the camera operator, who was there doing the whole production of the Star Wars Holiday Special. Gotten lots of great stories from these two gentlemen.
Yeah, so we've talked with them on our podcast, Skywalking Through Neverland, including Craig, which, you know, you've had some amazing stories. So that's what these photos are. It's our podcast just promoting which episodes have these people. So, of course, if you go to the website, you can also search Star Wars Holiday Special, and all these fun episodes will pop up if you want to know even more.
Craig, what did you do at Lucasfilm during this time in the Star Wars universe?
Well, I was, my title was Director of Fan Relations, but I was a publicist. I did all the stuff relating to conventions and fanzines and all that. And I was also a producer of special projects like episodes of Sesame Street and some commercials and award ceremonies and that sort of thing.
So he's got a lot of insight to what was happening around Lucasfilm at that time, which we're going to get into in just a few minutes. All right, now, got to find out a little bit about you people. Who here saw the Star Wars Holiday Special when it first aired in 1978?
Wow. Oh, I didn't.
Okay.
Put my hand down.
Who here was not born in 1978? A couple of people right over here. All right, well, as we go along, we want to hear from each person and find out what you thought of the Holiday Special when you first saw it or when you did see it. Now, who here has not seen the Holiday Special? Oh, this is going to be so exciting if you haven't seen it, because we're going to go through all the high points.
Both of them.
Why do you laugh?
Both of them.
Why do you laugh? Now, there's one thing that I want to point out, and a lot of people will say that the Holiday Special doesn't have a good rap, but if you go to Starlog, issue number 19, it says, one of the most ambitious television spectaculars ever attempted by an American network.
Who doesn't want to see that?
It was pretty ambitious.
George Lucas wrote pretty much the story of the Wookiees and then gave it to the producers of the Holiday Special, who were really focused in on the variety shows.
Well, you know, the Holiday Special was not something we made, really. Lucasfilm made agreed to CBS doing, at first, a 1-hour Star Wars themed holiday special. We thought it'd be, you know, good for continuing to promote Star Wars between movies. And no one was really, you know, it was not a Lucasfilm production. It was a thing we were involved in, just like with Sesame Street. We didn't write any of the episodes of Sesame Street. We supervised from a Star Wars point of view. We provided R2 and 3PO, and we gave approval to the script, but really more, is there anything we don't want to participate in? You can't do that kind of thing, not let us punch this up for you. It wasn't our production. And at first, the show was a 1-hour special. And as time went on, and CBS got more and more excited about doing a Star Wars thing, they wanted to do a 90-minute special, and we said okay, and they wrote more script, and we got new drafts of the script, And then they decided to make it a 2-hour special, and they wrote more material. But you have to remember, it was not Star Wars people writing this special. It was variety show people writing a special that happened to have a Star Wars theme. And this was a period where the networks were always doing these kind of themed variety specials. They were usually Christmas or Easter or Valentine's Day themed specials, and they were mostly done to promote all of the shows on the network. So they'd be filled with people who were on the network in a variety of hour-long and sitcoms appearing in the special, and they'd just be comedy and musical numbers. And, and for a Valentine's special, it would be like romance and that kind of thing. And an Easter special would have the Easter Bunny in it or something. And so this was just going to be a variety show themed to Star Wars, which is part of why people are so disappointed that they got to it, and it's like they were hoping for a TV version of Star Wars, and they got a musical number with a Wookiee standing in it, that kind of thing. The show is not wonderful, but compared to variety shows of the period, it's pretty typical.
Right. And for those of you who had not seen it, in the beginning, Han Solo and Chewbacca are on their way to Kashyyyk to celebrate Life Day, and they're intercepted by the Empire. So we cut down to the Wookiees. We have Malla, who is Chewbacca's wife, Itchy, who is Chewbacca's dad, and Lumpy, Chewbacca's son, and they're worried about Han and Chewie and will they make it back. And meanwhile, throughout the galaxy, there's a raid looking for these rebels. So they're tearing apart the whole galaxy looking for these people, and we cut to Kashyyyk, where they're ransacking Chewbacca's home. And as they're ransacking, as we're waiting for the Wookiees to come home, that's when I think they did a very good job interweaving these scenarios, these segments into the story. So it wasn't just cut to this, cut to that. Lumpy would be watching the little holographic circus. So there's a little variety there.
Lumpy was the...
Chewbacca's son.
Right.
He would watch a 10-minute Boba Fett cartoon. And Itchy...
And that Boba Fett cartoon was actually quite good.
Yes.
And it was the first media appearance of Boba Fett. Boba had appeared in a parade and a couple of other things, but in terms of TV or movies, it's the first appearance.
Right. And Itchy, he was wearing this 1950s hair dryer called the Mind Evaporator, where he was watching a video that should not be seen by anyone under 21 years of age.
Yes.
This was done by Diane Carroll, oohing and eyeing over how a Wookiee should be feeling right about now, and a lot of guttural sounds.
Yeah, I think I was 27 when I first saw the Star Wars Holiday Special, and whoa, I was not ready for that.
And then Malla, Chewie's wife, while she's waiting for Chewie to come home, she's watching a Julia Child show hosted by Harvey Korman as Gormanda, and they're making bantha rump. So there was chances for the holiday special to weave in and out of these segments, which once again, I thought they did very, very well. Would it be considered Star Wars? No. And if you haven't seen it yet, you've got to watch it again, but do it through the eyes of someone in 1978 when variety shows were all the rage. And spoiler alert, at the end, Chewie makes it home to Life Day, everyone celebrates, and Princess Leia sings a song.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Yes. Now, Bob, WR, you've seen the holiday special. When you saw it as a kid, what did you think?
Well, I love the Boba Fett cartoon. And I like the live action segments where it looked as if there's going to be some action. You see Han Solo and Chewbacca in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon, and they're on their way, and they intercut effects from the original Star Wars, and it's like, uh-oh, they're skimping on the budget here. So immediately I knew this was not going to look good. And I had to suspend my disbelief. I said, I would have to say, all right, well, let's see where this is going. And being a true Star Wars fan, I watched the whole thing.
Nice.
Anyone else out in the audience, when you first saw the Star Wars Holiday Special in 1978, what did you walk away with? What kind of thought?
Depression.
Yes, you.
Okay.
Max, quiet.
Basically, it was pretty awful.
She loved it. Okay, go on.
It was fun to see the characters. If the variety acts were better, it would have helped. But
Yes.
the variety acts were so terrible, it was not, it just fell apart. I mean, every time they go to a variety act, it's like, how bad, how much worse can this get? Because, it's one thing to be a variety show and have good variety acts, it's another thing to be a variety show and have bad variety
Well,
acts.
again, it does go back to two things. First, it's who's on the network, and so we'll have them do stuff, rather than people who are actual singers and dancers. And also, as they kept writing more material more and more quickly to make the show longer, it's like the B. Arthur stuff was fine. She did a perfectly fine, not great, but a perfectly fine number at the bar. But
I just felt like the variety acts were lacking.
So you didn't mind the variety aspect. You just minded that the variety acts weren't up to a Star Wars bar.
Yeah, it just more of an exploitation event rather than anything that was adding value to the franchise.
Gotcha. Now, Craig, this aired on November 17th, 1978. On Monday, when you went into work, what was the atmosphere?
we just kept doing what we're doing. I mean, it was, we watched it. I guess most of the people in the company watched it. I mean, we didn't have a big screening or anything. Again, it wasn't really our project. Just like we didn't really do screenings of when Darth Vader was on the Osmond show, which was a weekly variety show as opposed to a special. No, the Osmond show was really awful. In fact, it was the Osmond show that made George say, "We're never going to do this again," and he wouldn't let any of the Star Wars characters be on any variety shows after the Osmonds.
All right, so
Muppets is different.
WR, you had a comment.
Well, one thing that struck me was what happened to Mark Hamill. It's like he had pancake all over his face. What happened to his face? Now, the thing is that we all know he had an automobile accident in early '77, and but that I can't imagine him having that much makeup in '78. The reason why I say that is because I saw him on the Today Show with Carrie and Harrison, and he looked fine to me. I had no idea he'd even been in an automobile accident.
I have a couple of theories on that. One is that they were going for the video makeup, which they applied way too heavily. If you look back at some of the '70s shows, well, that pancake makeup is something you'd only see at IHOP. It was that thick. And then plus, I think they were trying to match the makeup from when Mark was shooting in Tunisia. He was very dark-skinned because of the sun. So I thought maybe they were trying to match that skin tone. So Craig, if you could relabel the Star Wars Holiday Special, going back to 1978, they said, Craig, we need something to call this. What would you come up with? Because the Holiday Special doesn't really say what it is.
Well, I mean, I would have called it the Holiday Variety Special just to make it clearer. But I mean, in terms of the way they would name these kinds of shows, that was in keeping with the nomenclature of the time and the other shows that were on. You know, Bob Hope did one every year of that type of thing. And I mean, they were just so common, and no one was like, oh my God, this is so terrible. It was like, yeah, it's just another variety show. Okay, move on.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. Had they called it a variety show to begin with, we would have an understanding. Because when I was a kid, and the only thing we had to go on for Star Wars, for news, was the Star Wars newsletter. Greg Miller over here started that. And TV Guide. And in TV Guide, this was the tagline with the picture. It said, Luke Skywalker and Han Solo battle Imperial forces to help Chewbacca reach his imperiled family on the Wookiee planet in time for Life Day, their most important day of the year. I don't recall seeing that scene. I don't recall Han and Luke battling Imperial forces, because I read that and it's like, this is going to be another Star Wars. This is going to be great. But being a variety show, well, that would have tipped us off, and we would have been more prepared.
Yeah.
Plus, if it had come with a disclaimer, anyone under 21 years, don't watch minute 10 through minute 18. And this, Star Wars, the Holiday Special, it aired on November 17th, which was a Friday, and the 16th of November was the day Star Wars left the theaters. After an 18-month run, it finally left that one theater up in Alaska. So Fox and Kenner said, don't want people to forget about this movie. It's only been out of theaters for a day. The Empire Strikes Back wasn't going to come out for another year and a half. We don't want people to forget about this, which is why in the middle we have that infomercial by R2 and 3PO advertising all the upcoming Star Wars toys.
Ooh. Yeah. It's all about the toys.
And plus, like you were saying, CBS wanted to promote their stars since these variety shows were just starting to dwindle. Sonny and Cher had just gone off the air. Maude had just gone off the air, and B. Arthur, we'll see in the cantina.
Maude was a sitcom, not a variety.
Right. But I meant they're CBS bankable primetime stars, and Carol Burnett was starting to go into syndication. So they were working on one level, Fox and Kenner were working on another level, and George Lucas was off doing more American Graffiti and prepping The Empire Strikes Back. Now, I know a lot of people don't really take the Star Wars Holiday Special into consideration when talking about the Star Wars highlights. Who does? This guy right over here. But, thank you very much. Oh, you do?
I do.
Oh, you know what? Tell us one of your favorite stories about the Holiday Special. We want to hear this. Don't say it watching it end. It's not an answer.
I watch it every year.
Do you?
I always skip the Wookiee porn sequel, so it was a look away from what the main focus of the movies was. So it was nice to see the little knickknacks around the house that were just part of everyday life.
So you wanted a slice of life in the Star Wars universe. All right, nicely said. Did you have a comment?
I only saw it once, and then saw it again maybe 10 years later at a convention where we all went, we were up chorus and laughing through the whole thing. I could not get over Jefferson Starship.
Yes. Yeah, that was one of the little scenarios that Lumpy was watching, was Jefferson Starship.
Yeah, the variety show thing just,
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think we all agree that maybe the variety show should have been taken out of the
Right. But
Star Wars Holiday
like
Special.
Between this being on and some other holiday special that they shot. So there were parts I missed, but I caught the animation part and I was like, oh, that was really good, because this is pre-VCRs.
Right.
So,
This was the first time Star Wars had ever been animated. And as a kid, right there.
Yeah, until somebody had a bootleg tape of it.
Yeah. I want to find that person who made that bootleg tape back in 1970. I want to shake their hand. Because without that recording, we wouldn't have seen it so many times. Now, you're probably wondering what the stars of Star Wars had thought after all this time about the Star Wars Holiday Special. Did they love it? Did they not like it? Are they accepting it? Sarah, roll this tape.
All right.
Star Wars, of course, came out in 1977, I believe. Huge international hit, one of the biggest hits of all time. Rockets you to superstardom. And then shortly afterwards, a Christmas special came out that was produced by George Lucas, in which all of the participants in Star Wars came together and they made this Star Wars Christmas special, and the tape's been passed around for years, and the rumors that Lucas is trying to suppress it because none of you look happy while you're making this thing. And I thought I'd just ask you about it. Do you remember making this Christmas special? I think it was 1978. No, you don't remember it? You have no memory of this incident.
No, none whatsoever.
No memory of it at all.
No,
So
no.
it doesn't exist in your...
No, it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
No.
What if I were to tell you that I had a little piece of tape right now? No! What if I were to roll that piece of tape? How would you feel about that?
I wouldn't feel... I don't know. I've never seen it. Maybe it'll be nice. Go ahead. Roll it.
The Star Wars Holiday Special.
Chewie, check and see if the coast is clear, will you? You're like family to me.
Thank you.
Yeah. That Wookiee looked at you with lust. That was...
real affection.
Nice.
Now, according to Steve Binder, the director, the second director, he said that Harrison was very friendly on set, very congenial, went about his business. A lot of people were assuming that he'd be grumpy throughout the whole thing, but he had a job to do.
He wasn't grumpy yet.
No, consummate actor. Now, you know what? Who do we have up next? Oh, Carrie. Oh.
Carrie Fisher.
All right, anyone under 18 here? No? All right, good.
Yeah, you guys ready?
You know, I really don't remember except that song. I do. We celebrate our day of peace. This is a YouTube moment, isn't it? Of peace and harmony. That's all I really remember, except thinking, what is Art Carney doing with the Wookiees? I mean, that is actually, I did get it. I asked for that. I did something for George. So I got a lamp for the rewrite, and for some other thing that I did, I think when I roasted him or something, I asked for a copy of the Christmas special because he couldn't get it because it's just so bad, and he's taking it off the market. And I had it, I invited people over, and we started to watch it, and it is so bad, it's not good. I mean, it's painful.
I know.
She recalled the song. That's good.
Yeah, she recalled the words and the tune and everything.
Yeah. I love what Mark has to say here.
Okay.
You know, after all these years, Lucasfilm is still saying, Mark, I wish you wouldn't talk about that. I said, no, we gotta own it. I remember when I read it, I said, this is awful. Why are we doing this? I said, I'm not doing this. And I got a phone call from George, which usually meant Jane Bay, his assistant. I picked up the phone and go, hi, Jane. I'm good, it's George. Ooh. But no, he explained to me, do you realize when that came out, we'd been in the movie theater for almost a year and a half. It opened in the summer of '77. This is fall of '78. So George says, look, it's just a way to keep the merchandising fresh in people's minds, and you know, it's really a favor to me for the merchandisers.
Couldn't agree more, Mark. Now, Craig, you were saying earlier about the Boba Fett animated cartoon.
It's interesting. He's a much more interesting character in this animation than he is in either of the Star Wars movies he's in.
Yes.
Okay, that's kind of the direction I was hoping you would go in, because I love the fact that he's almost not a double agent, but he incorporates himself as a friend to Luke Skywalker, but when really, spoiler alert, working for Darth Vader. Yes, because the rebels are looking for this talisman, which turns things invisible, and Han and Chewie crash on the Pana system. Luke and the droid go after him, and that's where they meet Boba Fett.
R2, stand by to fire the ejection pod.
And hurry, R2, or we'll be dessert soon. What is it, Master Luke?
I'm not sure. You saved my life. Thank you.
You are alone?
I have 2 droids. We've come in search of a ship that crashed near here.
Maybe I can help you. I am Boba Fett. The ship you seek is nearby.
Are the Imperial troops near this planet?
They are here, friend, and growing more powerful.
How far away?
Settle down. All they do is eat.
This is all we have, but he's welcome to it.
You are foolish to waste your kindness on this dumb creature. No lower life form is worth going hungry for, friend. I take it you have no love of the Empire.
I don't.
Well, neither do I.
I know what we're saying earlier, Lucasfilm and Disney have been trying to really push back on the Star Wars Holiday Special, but in the 2011 Star Wars The Complete Saga Blu-ray set, you do find this whole segment buried deep inside of the bonus features. Yeah, the whole animated segment.
Yeah, it's like an Easter egg
It's an Easter
in the
egg
menu, right?
In an Easter egg, yes. You gotta really dig deep, but you can find it. And it's in good condition, too. Now, Craig, you were saying that this is not the very first appearance by Boba Fett.
No, there were a couple. Bob was reminding me of one. The The one that I'm familiar with is there's a Founders Day parade in San Rafael. And in 1978, and there's the article. That's the one I'm familiar with. Because Lucasfilm had offices in San Rafael, they took part in the Founders Day parade, and they put Darth Vader and Boba Fett in that parade, although no one knew who Boba Fett was. They were just really testing the costume. And so he marched in the parade, and the front page of the Independent Journal had an article on the parade, and there's the photo of them that illustrated the article.
Yeah, September 24th, 1978, months before the holiday special. Yes, Max?
Does anybody know who wore the Boba Fett costume?
I do!
Was it Joe Johnston?
No, it's Dwayne Dunham.
Dwayne Dunham.
Dwayne Dunham. Who also did the Boba Fett test video that we just surfaced a couple of months ago, or a couple of years ago, rather. And he's wearing the Star Wars beach towel. I was hoping to see that beach towel either on an action figure.
Dwayne was an assistant editor at the time, working on the various movies.
All right, who's got another favorite scene in the Star Wars Holiday Special? I want to hear what Max has got to say.
I love Harvey Korman.
Yes. Harvey Korman, yes. In the cantina scene as Krellman?
No, well...
Max, I'm setting you up.
Is it in him and he comes back and he's the chef?
Yes, he's Gormando, the chef.
I love that.
Yeah, but what you mean is Krellman, because we're segueing into the cantina segment.
Okay, yes, Krellman.
Krellman, okay.
Well, yes, that is my favorite.
Well, then there you go.
You forgot to use your Jedi mind powers to make me say that.
Yeah, Max, say it.
It's Krellman from the cantina scene.
All right, so they're doing the Star Wars Holiday Special. How could they not include a cantina scene? Now, this takes place a year after A New Hope. So one after the Battle of Yavin. So you got to wonder, wait a minute, we see some familiar creatures in there. Anyone see any familiar faces?
Yeah, most of the aliens are all from the original.
Yeah, most of the aliens. We do see there's Walrus Man or Ponda Baba. However, in this, he's known as Teek Sidbam. You know how you know it's not Walrus Man or Ponda Baba?
He's got both arms?
He's got both arms, yes. Oh. And apparently all the Aqualish all wear the same outfits.
Yes.
The arms just grow back.
Yes.
Yeah.
We can go with that one too.
Yeah, that works.
And what other familiar faces do we see there?
Well, there's Greedo with a vest.
Oh, once again, not Greedo. No, his name is Bloodlow. Now, all the Rodians in the films all dress the same because there's Greedo. And in Return of the Jedi, we see his cousin Beedo. They all wear that same ski suit with the orange vest. Some have pockets, some don't. And we see the Ithorian, not Hammerhead, no, or Mamwa Nadon. This is Deneb Both. This is going to be a test afterwards, so write all this stuff down.
Some prizes.
Yes, and she's a female too.
Oh.
Yeah, and down below, we have, this is Zutmore. This was the creature known later on as Snaggletooth, or anyone who bought the Star Wars action figures.
The one in red?
Yes, so you can say that he is the very first Star Wars, or pretty much one of the only Star Wars Holiday Special pieces of merchandise that was ever released. Because on the card, it had a picture of this gentleman right over here. But when Kenner was making the action figures to begin with, they saw Zutton from Star Wars, a little cantina alien buried to the side, and he did have a blue tunic. So they thought, blue, we'll put Snaggletooth in a blue outfit, give him some Gene Simmons Kiss boots. Yes, and in 40 years, we'll all be fighting over that action figure. And
Are you doing this from memory with all these names, or you have notes?
Most of the names I have because we've been talking about the holiday special for a long time now, especially in the last couple of weeks. But some of the names there, I am cheating, and I do have Teek Sidban and Deneb Buff. But other stuff, it's in there. Don't ask me who the president is. I've got no idea.
I wish I did.
Yeah, or vice president. It's Cantina creatures. I got you covered. And we have MoveTac in the very bottom there. Go to the next frame here. This guy over here, Bom Vimden. Now, you see his outfit over here. Anyone recognize that outfit other than Max? Max, go ahead and tell us where we see this outfit.
That is one of the Planet of the Apes Gorilla Guards uniforms. They rented a lot of costumes for the holiday special from around town, and they got this out of 20th Century Fox's wardrobe storage.
Yes. On the left here is a screenshot from the holiday special. On the right is do you recall a couple of years ago, like 10 years ago, Tom Spina had recreated the whole cantina scene.
I was here for the celebration in LA at Anaheim just about 4 years ago.
Nice.
Yeah, I did it for Adidas.
2015.
And it was this Bom Vinden he was part of another commercial, which I don't recall, but the Adidas one was just fantastic. And now, mentioning Planet of the Apes, it looks like for Star Wars, they raided the Planet of the Apes closet once again. And this is the outfit as seen where Cornelius wore this for Escape from Planet of the Apes. And you see another couple of creatures around the cantina in this space outfit used from Escape from Planet of the Apes. All right, and this next slide over here, got a couple more aliens. And this next one right over here, I love this guy. Can you make that out? It's a Tintin dwarf sitting with Akmina. And anyone recognize him from another movie, 1976?
The Rats of Nim.
I
Secret
can't
of
make
Nim.
out the images.
All right, it's a big rat, the size of like a Volkswagen. This came from a movie called Food of the Gods. Yes, exactly. Where these farmers had food growing up from their gardens, which came from somewhere, and they thought it was food from the gods, so they gave it to all their animals and pets and rodents and rats.
Is that one of the rats that ate out of Lupita?
Is it? No, that was his cousin.
Was it?
No, yeah.
Yeah, she was in that movie, so she probably got eaten by the animals.
Way to bring it down, Max.
Hey.
All right, and who? What's her name?
Maud.
Maud is her last name. Her first name is Akmina Maud. Wouldn't that be funny?
No, really?
No. That'd be funny if it was her last name.
That'd be a great action figure name.
Right. And so, Sarah, let's play a little bit of Akmina right over here.
Okay.
Well, I am certainly not going to get rich with customers like you. I thought I taught you to drink faster than that. Well, at least you're steady. Oh, come on now, drink up. There's plenty more where that came from. What'll it be?
Hello, Akmina.
Okay, we'll do it your way. Hello. Now we'll do it my way. What'll it be?
Can we talk?
Well, of course we can talk. We are talking. You're not ordering. I'm not pouring. We are not drinking. We are talking. I'm moving this to make room for a drink so the next time I say what'll it be and you tell me, I can put it right there.
Doesn't matter. Give me anything. I'll have one of those. I'm sorry I couldn't get back before.
Before what?
Until now. Until tonight. I thought about it a dozen times, but I had to be sure.
Excuse me. I have a customer waiting. I'll be right back.
Come back soon. I'll be waiting. Akmina.
How's your drink?
It's all gone. Look, there's a flower on top of it.
I see there is. Do you want another drink?
Flowers for you. I wanted to bring you something, and that's all I could think of.
I don't get many flowers, but you didn't have to bring me anything.
Krellman.
Krellman, what a nice name.
When I left here the other night, I felt something that I haven't felt in longer than I care to remember. I felt alive again. Someone made me feel like all the years I've lived meant something. And all you said was 6 simple words. Come back soon. I'll be waiting.
After all, only words.
They were more than words. I knew that at the time. That's why I went home and thought about what you said.
Oh? What did I say?
It doesn't matter, silly. What you said is not as important as what you meant.
No? What did I mean?
And I decided what you meant was exactly the thing I needed to hear.
Well, I'm glad about that.
You know, it's funny. A man can live as long as I have, through all the ups and downs, and just when he thinks it's all over, someone cares for him again. I wasn't looking for that when I came in here. Maybe that's why it happened, because I wasn't asking for love anymore. I wasn't desperate. I wasn't begging, whining, groveling, sniveling. I just came in here for a drink. And I found a lot more.
Curlman, listen, Curlman, you're kind and sweet and terribly attractive, but if you're saying what I think you're saying, you felt you meant, I thought you needed to hear, then I just have one thing to say: I did not.
It's funny how everyone would call out Maude, but no one said Golden Girls. They tell you about the age bracket.
Yeah.
And there's a fun trivia. If you ever want to win a trivia contest, you ask someone, who is the third female to ever have speaking lines in the Star Wars universe? Because they'll go Princess Leia, they'll go Aunt Beru, Mon Mothma. Nope, it's Akmina from the Star Wars Holiday Special. You'll
Nice
win
trivia.
your weight in whatever you're betting against. Not only is she the third female to ever have spoken, she's the first one with a song.
That's right.
Just one more round, friend, then homeward bound, friend. Don't forget me in your dreams. Just one more song, friend, and then so long, friend. The nights get shorter, it seems. Just one more rhyme, friend. Yes, it's a crime, friend. But you know time, friend, time can fly. So it's good night, friend. Good night, but not goodbye.
No, I'm forgetting. Did Whir in Star Wars, did he do a dance number like this? I've seen Star Wars a couple of million times, but I can't remember the bartender in Star Wars ever doing a musical number.
That was only on weekends.
Oh, yeah, okay. He had the whole cabaret
And
stage.
that's why I don't do 2 shows a day.
Nicely done, nicely done. All right, now, let's go a little bit further in the Star Wars Holiday Special and talk about how it's been canonized.
Yeah, because now, you know, people working on Star Wars are our age, they've grown up with it and they love Star Wars, and some of them even love the Star Wars Holiday Special.
So even though Disney and Lucasfilm say no, they'll go, okay, we won't. And they'll, of course, slip it in every now and then. Like in Solo, a Star Wars story, right there, Han is asking Chewbacca, what's your name? And Chewbacca is saying, Chewbacca, the son of Itchy, or as he says, Itachuck, or Itachuck.
And that's in the script.
Yeah, it's in the script. And the Team Wookiee, the Team Chewbacca solo bonus feature in the Solo DVD, in the download, you can see it has a script and it says, father of Itchy. I can't pronounce his full name.
Adichuk, something like that.
Yeah, something to that effect.
It's like there's another syllable in there.
Yeah. And now, this is Aftermath. Chewbacca's son, Lumpy, and how he's first reunited with Chewbacca. Because the Wookiees are enslaved, and Lumpy, he gets together this rebellion, and he pits the Wookiees against the Empire, and who comes to save the day? Chewbacca. And you see a very heartfelt reunion between Chewie and his son. And right in this book right over there, Aftermath. And this is the first time we see Mala introduced in A New Hope, the Princess and the Scoundrel and the Farm Boy. When Han Solo says to Chewbacca, you got a good woman at home with Mala, but I don't have one of those. So little by little, they're slipping the holiday special back into canon. And then Ackmena, she's first mentioned in this book right over here, Star Wars Complete Locations, when they're talking about the Mos Eisley Cantina, because the cantina we see in the holiday special is the same one we see in Star Wars, just from a different angle and lighting and floor plan. In a different bar, yes.
But otherwise identical.
Yeah, otherwise exactly the same. Urinals are different though, much different. And then she's introduced in this story here, Ackmena.
Okay.
In this, the short storybook, from a certain point of view, the Cluehorn Cantina Caper.
That's one of the stories in there?
Yes. All right, then, coming next year on Disney Plus, we're going to see The Mandalorian starring Boba Fett's rifle. Hoping there's going to be more of the holiday special, at least color schemes from The Mandalorian in this show.
Now, wasn't this a Twitter photo that
John Favreau had posted, and he knew that people would go crazy.
Yeah, and we did.
And, of course we did. So there's going to be giant sea serpents, red and the pink variety. And I really want to see Boba's color scheme in that. That's going to be awesome. Now, Sarah, like you were saying, the people working in Star Wars right now, well, they're all fans.
We're working in other shows, too.
And working in other shows as well, like this show right over here. This is Supergirl. This is from an episode called Reign, Season 3, Episode 9, where you knew the writers had to get in a Star Wars holiday special reference for their Christmas episode.
I enjoy Christmas. What a wonderful way to close your year. Paying homage to an evergreen creature. It so reminds me of Life Day.
Excuse me, hi. Life Day, as in the Star Wars holiday special, was on CBS. Princess Leia, sang a song. You have no idea what I'm talking about. Oh my God, you don't know what Star Wars is. You probably don't know what Star Wars is.
Excuse me? The Empire Strikes Back is the best movie sequel of all time.
I just love you more and more each day.
Anyone recall any other Star Wars holiday reference in any other TV show? Oh, Glee. Glee had a big Star Wars holiday special reference where
they did a whole variety.
Whole variety show within the show.
Yeah,
they had the whole opening with each character. Then comes cosplay.
Has anybody seen cosplayers?
Who here, let's jump over here to cosplay. Who here has ever seen Star Wars holiday special cosplayers? Yeah? Woo. How about you? What have you seen? Gormanda?
Gormanda.
Oh, you mean her? Yeah, she was at one of the celebrations. I recall seeing her.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Anyone else?
The B. Arthur one is also a celebration. That was Indianapolis.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, nice.
That was like Star Wars Celebration 2. Okay.
Yeah, because I went to Denver, and there was a Boba Fett at the Denver one.
Yeah. Oh, I see this Boba Fett at every celebration. I love this guy.
They're pretty neat.
I keep following him around. He calls me a stalker.
And we've also seen, I remember seeing the green guy.
Yeah, he was at, they're all blending together now. But I was like, oh, that's the ringmaster from the holographic circus. I love this guy. He's awesome.
Talk about obscure.
Yes.
Exactly. The most obscure cosplay I've ever seen. And the guy on the right, on the slide right over here, he's going as Too Much Makeup Luke. Yeah, so I don't want anyone doing that at the next celebration because I'm going to do that orange guy liner. Love that. It's going to be awesome.
Nice.
So don't anyone steal that idea that I'm going to steal. There's Gormanda.
All right. Ooh.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
I think it's time.
All right. Before we start wrapping things up here to the trivia challenge, gentlemen, any last words on the Star Wars holiday special?
What could one say?
So, you know what? I'm going to go back to my original question. So you were saying that after this special had aired, Craig, that no one had anything to say about it at Lucasfilm? Did they just not talk about it?
They wanted to keep their jobs.
Yeah. No, I mean, we really didn't talk about it. I really don't recall anything particular about it. George, of course, eventually let us know that he hated it. But, again, we didn't make it. We just fulfilled the terms of the agreement that George had made with CBS. But no, we didn't really talk about it. We had other stuff to deal with.
And they had other venues to keep the franchise alive till The Empire Strikes Back, because at the time they were publishing the newspaper strip by Russ Manning.
Right.
We had that, and then the novelizations, the Han Solo trilogy by Brian Daley.
Mm-hmm.
So that helped keep interest alive. Even though the Han Solo trilogy took place in the corporate sector of the galaxy, so it didn't interfere with whatever Lucas had in mind for the overall story arc.
All right.
But it's still Han Solo.
And Chewbacca.
And Chewbacca.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a question over here.
So it's 40 years. What has kept an interest on this?
What has kept an interest?
This obscure little thing that happened. What is really keeping the interest?
I think the interest is being kept because Lucasfilm was trying to squash it. And therefore, it's the underdog, and people, who doesn't love an underdog?
Right.
And luckily, those people who put it in their VCRs or Betamax tapes and taped it, it finally has a life of its own. And so just the fact that, the Empire's trying to squash something, well, the rebellion is rising up.
And plus, I think for someone like me, it just plucks those nostalgic nerves. I don't want to talk someone into loving it, but I want to tell them about all the good points there are to the Star Wars Holiday Special, because I think if someone goes into watching this for the first time with the idea of how bad it's going to be, that's just going to be their perception. Instead of saying, hey, let's go through all the fun points. That way it can maybe counterbalance. And we do have listeners to Skywalking Through Neverland who show it to their kids, and their kids understand the kitsch. They understand the value of it. And they have a good time with it. It's not Star Wars. It's Star Wars adjacent, let's say. And they understand that, and they have a good time with it. Turn off anything you may have heard negative-wise and just form your own opinion. That's what we want to do. Yes?
Well, I saw it when it first came out, and I liked it because it was silly. I did not think that they were trying to be Star Wars. I thought they were trying to be fun and funny. I thought they were deliberately trying to be funny. And it didn't occur to me until late, and I just kind of forgot about it, until people in fandom was like they were trying to treat it like it was something serious. And this was obviously to be made to be funny, a comedy, a romp, something silly for kids and their parents to watch. And I really enjoyed that they actually tried to put something science fiction-y, as a holiday special. I'd never seen that before. You always had Bing Crosby and, that. And so I enjoyed it, and I enjoy it now for the same reasons, because it's silly and funny and
it did
utterly ridiculous, which is what makes it charming.
It didn't try to pretend to be anything that it didn't. I think that's it right there.
We're not sitting around here, having panels about Bing Crosby specials.
Yes, it's 40 years later, and we're still talking about the holiday special.
With Jack Wilde on it, right? But that's what I like about it, is I like a little bit of silly in the universe.
Exactly. Did that answer your question?
And it really does have a direct tie-in to Star Wars, not just because of the characters, but George's answer to why doesn't the Wookiee get a medal, which everyone brings up about the medal ceremony. George's answer was, Wookiees don't believe in medals, and that after this ceremony, they were all going to be going to the Wookiee planet to celebrate Chewbacca being a hero. And this came directly out of that.
Yeah, the Wookiees don't believe in anything material. They worship trees and in birth and life. And Max, why are you shaking your head?
Because I hate when Lucas tries to rectify.
But it works. It does work out.
He's doing a bad job of it. Just say it was a mistake. I would forgive you.
But that's the answer as to how this was birthed. And I think that was a good.
I have a very good friend of mine. In all her years, she's been in the industry forever, and she's never seen Star Wars. Just this week, she's been laid up because she had knee surgery. I took and showed her Star Wars for the first time, just via her, and I didn't say anything. I just said, just watch it. If you have any questions, just ask. The one and only question she asked me was, why doesn't the Wookiee get a medal?
And now you have an answer.
No.
Yes, you do. The movie's only 2 hours and 5 minutes, Star Wars. They had a longer, 5 hours, to explain every single thing.
I just think, I like the holiday special, like Karen said, for its kitsch value. I enjoy it for that. But I also have to blame Lucas. It's like, if you don't like it,
You're the person to blame. How could you have let this go out without seeing it first?
I'm not arguing with you, Max.
I am, Max.
But the thing is, I did go to George and say, why didn't the Wookiee get a medal?
Yeah.
And that was his answer, but that was why. And then later when this came up, it was like, and this is when they win.
Oh, it works.
It works.
It does.
Well, I think it's time, though, to move
I'm
on.
with Sarah. He should have gotten one and
Well, I agree he should have gotten one, and it's a better answer than many of the answers George later gave.
We made a mistake.
He did say that. He's walking around with a sledgehammer going, where is it? Where's the next copy I can smash?
Yeah, right.
That pretty much says everything, Max. Yes, it does. All right, now that Max has given in, let's go here to my favorite part of the panel, and that's the giveaways.
Woohoo!
Yay.
But you got to work for them.
Yes, you do.
That's my unfavorite part of the panel.
And this is the Star Wars Holiday Trivia Tournament Special.
Okay, so we're going to ask some questions. We're going to look for your hands. And whoever, the first question, whoever wins gets to come up and choose a prize. So there's different prizes that are kind of grouped. There's
R2 isn't one of them.
But you can take Max home, okay?
This is actually one of the prizes, too. This is actually one of the prizes, too. So the earlier questions that you get right, then you get your pick.
All right, and we want to give a huge thank you to Mr. W.R. Miller for donating, may the facts be with you, 1,200 Star Wars Stumpers for serious fans.
Yes.
And if you ask him nicely, he may autograph it for you. I know. So let's have this be the first prize.
Oh, okay.
You can't answer, Craig. Your hand went up. We even asked the
No,
question.
I was scratching.
Oh, okay. All right.
I usually wait until after the question's asked to answer it.
All right.
Although it's easier before.
So shoot your hand straight up if you know the answer to this.
I'll be watching.
Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, and Carrie Fisher returned for the holiday special. Name another Star Wars actor who also returned. Oh, right in the back there.
Yeah, the back.
Anthony Daniels is correct.
Woo,
ding,
come on
ding, ding,
down.
ding. Come on over. Come on over.
Yay.
May the facts and this prize be with
what?
you.
You can choose one more, too. So you get the book and one more thing. And if you want.
All right, well, while you're picking right over there,
We're going to ask the next
you only have 20 minutes. All right, next question. Oh, you got to stand up to the side. All right. According to writer Bruce Valanche on Gilbert Gottfried's Amazing Colossal podcast, who was originally cast as the erotic Mermia, but had to drop out because of a recent surgery at the time. So Mermia was originally cast, but she had to drop out because of a surgery she was going through at that time. Who was it? Who was it? Anyone?
Nobody.
R2? R2, come up here and win a prize. It was Cher. Cher was originally cast,
That's frightening.
but had to drop out. All right, next. The Imperial representative mispronounces Kashyyyk. How did he say it?
Kashyyyk?
All close. All right, multiple choice. Is it Kazook, Kazunhaik, or Kalamazoo? Yes. Kazook is right.
Woo! Come on down.
Come on over and win yourself a prize. Now, one thing for anyone living in the Southern California area, from December 14th through January 13th, there is a play going on in Hollywood called Special. That's where they're going to do a play around the Star Wars Holiday Special. We have 2 t-shirts here, a small and a large, and whoever wants this prize over here gets comp tickets.
2 tickets, yeah. Yeah.
Right in Hollywood on Cahuenga. We got some books. This was How Star Wars Conquered the Universe, was donated by Chris Taylor. We have some Star Wars toys donated by
poster.
Donald Wicks.
And this
his
poster back here.
donated by Margaret Mays. Some toys donated by Hasbro. Want to get the tickets?
Nice. Okay, you get a T-shirt.
Want a
too.
T-shirt, a
So
small?
Take that.
And the shirts say, "May the Force be Arthur." I know Archie would like that one.
Nice.
That's good stuff. All right.
For you.
Next question. True or false? This was James Earl Jones's first credit as Darth Vader. Oh, right over here.
That's true.
That is very true.
And the reason why I found out about it is because he accidentally took my bag off the carousel on a flight that I had.
Darth Vader or James Earl Jones?
And James Earl Jones. And I asked him, did you always do the voices? He says, yes, I also did it in the holiday special.
That's amazing. Well, come on up.
Someone who's taking credit there. Someone who's claiming to be part of the holiday special.
Woo. All right, so come on.
Don't you have somewhere to be, Max?
I came here just for you.
Oh,
We'll
good.
ask another question.
All right. What role does Mickey Morton play other than Chewie's wife, Mala? So Mickey Morton is the actor who plays Mala. He also plays another role in the Star Wars Holiday Special.
I don't know his name, but isn't it like the bouncer from the Earth?
The bouncer,
The
Torque, the
bouncer,
bouncer
right.
from the cantina. Did you just guess that, or did you know that?
You want me to describe? Okay.
He's someone of that size.
Woo!
All right, whatever prize you would like.
Yeah, we even the posters. Yeah.
Oh, it's all yours. Donated by Margaret Mays. There you go.
Nice.
Well, congratulations. All right, 75 more questions. I'm just kidding. All right, next question. Who controlled R2-D2 in the holiday special? I'll give you a hint. He later on became a horror director and writer for some Stephen King projects. Yes?
Wes Craven?
Wes Craven? That would have been really funny, but no, it's not the answer. Yes? Mick Garris is correct!
That's only half correct, because there were two operators.
Oh, yeah?
R2 at that time required two operators.
Well, as far as Mick Garris says, he was the one who controlling the body.
Right, and someone else there are two RC units, one drove the body and one operated the head.
All right, next time I'll rephrase that as who controlled R2's body? Who controlled his head?
I don't remember.
Wes Craven.
Might have been Mickey
think that might
Herman.
be
She
signed,
sometimes did that with Mick.
Oh, yeah?
And Mickey was involved with the production on the holiday special. She coordinated a lot of the costumes and stuff. As I don't remember what her title. I think she was just like a production executive or production coordinator or something.
In the credits,
like
she's
that.
consultant.
Consultant, okay. But she was the representative from Lucasfilm on set. So she may have worked with Mick on it, because she did it on a couple of other specials.
When you controlled R2 on Sesame Street, was that all you?
No, I did the head, and Ed Breed drove the body. And I was producer for Lucasfilm for the entire operation.
Okay. That'll be my next trivia question. Not today, though. Multiple choice. What rock group makes an appearance in the Star Wars Holiday Special? This man right over here. Oh, yeah. All right. Judges?
Yeah, you got
All
it.
right,
Get
all
your
right.
hand up first. I know.
He didn't finish his breath yet before he said Jefferson, the Starship. May the Force be Arthur. Yes.
Woohoo! All right, you're welcome.
All right. We have 2 more minutes for this last one right over here. Who can come up here right now and sing the first 2 lines of A Day to Celebrate, the Princess Leia Life Day song? Anyone?
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 I want to hear Max sing.
R2. All right. Sarah? Oh. I'm not really following along. This is a special edition version.
Sorry.
All right.
All right.
You guys know the first 2 lines. Ready? We celebrate.
We celebrate a day of peace.
Max, take it away.
A day of harmony. A day of joy we all can share.
finish it up.
If this show had been became an annual.
John Williams.
Oh, I have no.
I have no idea.
Well, he wrote the music. The lyrics was Mitzi Welch, who also wrote Good Night and Goodbye.
Yeah. But I know I would have written that song. Go, okay, this is going to be on every year forever. I'm going to make a fortune off of this song.
This is pretty much the only song we had not heard at a John Williams Hollywood Bowl concert.
Yep, pretty much.
When is this going to become available on Blu-ray?
Never.
Lucasfilm.
Why not? You know what? Ask me when the microphones are turned off. All right, everyone, that is Skywalking Through Neverland's 40th anniversary. Salute to the Star Wars Holiday Special. Thank you, everybody, for coming. If you have not seen the Holiday Special, please go and see it. And join us on Skywalking Through Neverland at skywalkingthrough.neverland.com. And guys, once again, let's hear it for Craig Miller and Mr. W.R. Miller. And to LosCon Convention.
Skywalking through Neverland.